Snooker Pro Tips. I've received a personal message. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but the question you asked is a very good question. And what it regards is the actual pace of the shots when you're potting balls. This is something that isn't really sort of discussed in general with snooker. We just take it as potting for granted, and that's why it's such a good question. Now, the problem with most players is what they like to do is rifle the balls into the pockets. There's nothing wrong with this as such. The only problem is that if you just catch the jaws of the pocket, you're giving the ball a chance to bubble. And likewise, if it is you play it too slow, then you now may give the ball a chance to pull off. So what you look for when the pace of the shot is to actually try and get the object ball to hit the back of the net of the pocket. Something along this line. So if we just have, say, a normal pot, you can do anything with it. Obviously, there are times when you do have to play with power, but for the general shots you're going to play, a lot of the time, especially when you're around the balls, when you're around the top end of the table, you don't need to use a lot of power. So if we take this shot here as a for instance, I'm just going to play a nice easy screw shot. In fact, I'll put the pink on, so it is sort of like an actual shot. So we'll take it for this instance now. I'm going to pop the red to the corner there and just play a nice easy screw shot and just get onto the pink nicely as though it was a proper game. But what I am going to do is make sure I just push the cue through the cue ball nicely, and then just let the red just go in the pocket at a nice pace. So what it's actually going to do is hit the back of the net and not the leather on the back of the pocket. Something like this. And you can see there the cue ball's moved, the red's gone into a nice pace, and I haven't tried to force it. Now what I can't do actually is miss deliberately, because it's difficult to actually attempt what I'm trying to explain. But what you must try and take into account, I'll just zoom into the pocket there, just so as I can just explain to you what does actually happen. So I'll just move the camera there, just so as you can see the pocket. Now if it is you try and force the ball into the pocket, invariably what's happening is hitting at one of the angles. Now if it hits this angle pretty full, you now give it a chance to hit the second angle, and then we sort of get that effect. So it's very important that when you're actually potting balls, that you just put it in there at a nice pace, like I've said at the start of the clip. So if we just do it again, I've got a close-up there of the pocket, just a nice pace, so the red hits the back of the net, something like that. And if you watch on the TV enough, when you watch the really good players, they're always just hitting the back of the net on a regular basis. They're not hitting the back of the pocket, they're not trying to smash the balls in half, and they're just keeping it nice and easy, nice and relaxed. And that goes for most of the shots you're going to play when you're actually round the balls. What you must remember is the harder you hit the cue ball, the more chance there is you're not going to hit it in the centre line of the cue ball, thus imparting side as you don't want on there. And again, this will now throw the white off course, causing you to miss the ball. So when you're potting balls, try and keep it just a nice pace. And what the other thing that sort of comes into the equation is the distance between the balls. And again, this is how hard you will have to hit it. So if I have a little bit further apart now, so I've got the white a little bit further away, but I'm still going to try and keep it nice and smooth. I'm not going to try and hit it too hard, and just push the cue through and try and get the pink to hit the back of the net of the pocket. That one there just caught leather a little bit, but it wasn't a big power shot. It was just nice and easy, nice and smooth. So if you can keep it nice and smooth, and every time you're trying to pot an object ball, if it is, it's just a normal shot, which we'll say is an 8 out of 10, 8 times out of 10, that's the shot you're going to play. Just keep it nice and smooth. Don't try and smash the pocket off the table and just ease the ball into the pocket. Keep it nice and easy so that it just hits the net. And the next time, again, like I might have already said this in the clip, you watch the pros, even if you see one live, if you're fortunate enough to see these players live, or if you watch them on the television, just watch how they put the balls into the pocket. They don't try and force it, they just keep it nice and smooth, so as the red actually hits the back, or the colour hits the back of the net. only if you're going to play a power shot do you need really slam it into the pocket, and that's the only time. It's been Snooker Pro Tips. Now, I'm sorry that I couldn't remember your name who asked the question, but it was an absolutely tremendous question. And like I said, one doesn't really crop up that often, but it's a really good question that you've asked. And hopefully a lot of the players out there who watch these clips on YouTube will suddenly realise that when they actually play, they probably hit the balls a little bit too hard, and that's why they bubble a lot of balls and don't pot on a regular basis because of this. So it was an absolutely tremendous question. Thank you for asking it. Thank you for personal messaging. And I hope this clip sort of helps you out a little bit with it. And also for all the other fellow players out there, I hope it helps them as well. It's been Snooker Pro Tips. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, any comments, please leave them with pleasure. I keep them all on there. I don't knock any of them off at all. And if it is you won't leave any personal messages for me to ask me any other questions, again, please get in touch. I try and answer every question I can in the best way I can, to the best of my knowledge. And again, you always get a 100% honest answer, and everything in the clip is 100% honest. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you.